We are North. We are South.
From Atlanta, Georgia, once again, it's time for Braves baseball. A packed house greets us at Turner Field for the final game of the series between the Braves and the New York Yankees. It's Superhero Day today. Who will be Atlanta's superhero as the Braves try to avoid a 3-game series sweep? Welcome back to the ballpark. Great game last night. Unfortunately, the Yankees won it. 3-1 was the score. Matt Whistler looked terrific. And, Joe, perhaps a preview of what we'll see in Game 3 today. Two young fireballers get after it in the final game of the set.
That is absolutely the truth. Two hard throwers and two guys who are really on good rolls right now, especially the New York Yankees' Nathan Eovaldi. He came over in a trade during the wintertime from the Marlins. Braves have seen him a lot. This guy can gas it up. He is up somewhere around 95.5 miles an hour. He throws harder than anybody else in baseball on a consistent basis. He's also got a very good split finger pitch. And oh, by the way, he's 8-0 over his last 12 starts. His last start, no decision, but 8 innings of shutout ball. Last outing, how about that? 10 times he went over 100 miles an hour.
Tough to lose with 8 runs a game, and that's something, you know, Julio Teheran would love to have for the Braves. But here at home, Joe, he hasn't needed 8 runs to win a game.
7-1, a 2.55 ERA, sub 200 average, and he's 3-0 over his last 5 starts. This is the best stretch of games that Julio's pitched all year. Should be a good matchup.
Let's get back into the win column. The Braves and the Yankees. Familiar faces match up in the series finale. We'll get to first pitch and starting lineups right after this.
Atlanta
Cloudy day here in Atlanta as the Braves and Yankees wrap up our series. If you're just joining us now, a few moments ago on Braves Live and here at the ballpark, the Braves held a moment of silence after last night's tragedy here at Turner Field, and their statement was issued just a few moments ago. The Atlanta Braves are deeply saddened by the loss of Greg Murray at last night's game. He was a valued and longtime season ticket holder and an incredibly passionate Braves fan. This tragic loss is felt throughout Braves country, and the thoughts and prayers of the entire Braves organization continue to go out to his family and friends.
I didn't know Greg, but I understand he was a big-time Braves fan, longtime season ticket holder, as the statement said, and watched our broadcasts religiously, so he will certainly be missed.
Julio Teheran makes his way to the mound for Game 3 of our series today. Julio has been rolling, and he'll try to slow down the suddenly hot offensively New York Yankees, who start play tonight a game and a half behind Toronto in the American League East. Jacoby Ellsbury leads off their Academy Sports starting lineup. Brett Gardner is in left, Carlos Beltran in right. Brian McCann's had a great series. Greg Bird at first base for an injured Mark Teixeira. Chase Headley at third. Didi Gregorius has worn out the Braves in this series. Stephen Drew at second, and Nathan Eovaldi, the flame-throwing right-hander, will pitch and will bat ninth against Julio.
Julio's 24 years old, 6'2", 200 pounds, makes his 27th start of the year. His last 5 have been outstanding. Just 5 walks against 29 strikeouts over those 5 starts, all attributed to a move to the first base side of the pitching rubber that has really paid dividends for him. His 4 keys to pitching success today. Well, he has had a lot of first inning problems. 18 runs in his first 26 starts in the first inning. So start fast today. Get your feet on the ground early against this Yankee lineup. And homeboy, he certainly is. He loves Turner Field. 7-1 with a 197 average against here at Turner Field this year, and a great career mark at his home ballpark.
The Braves defense behind Julio Teheran for Game 3 is presented by CPI Security. Former Yankee Nick Swisher is in left. Bourne in center. Day off for Cameron Maybin. Nick Markakis in right. Freeman, Peterson, Simmons, Garcia around the horn. A.J. Przinsky is back in harness behind the plate. And, of course, Teheran is on the mound. The Yankees, a game and a half out in the East, are the #1 wild card team in the American League. They have a 4-game bulge over Texas for that top spot. The umpiring crew today is Ed Hickox behind the plate. Paul Nauert at first. Crew chief Dana DeMuth is at second. And Mike Estabrook is the umpire at third base. Cloudy weather, breeze blowing across the diamond, slightly out toward left center. There is rain in the forecast. Hopefully it's going to stay away and we can get this one in without interruption.
Julio's last start, he gave up a leadoff home run to Charlie Blackmon. You might remember he certainly wants to avoid that to Jacoby Ellsbury,
who's hit 6 homers all year long, and the first of the day is bounced through the right side. 1 pitch, 1 hit. With the Yankees, a couple of things are in play, and we mentioned this here on Friday night. Number 1, they score a ton of first inning runs. Secondly, the first inning's been a problem for Julio this year.
Fastball running away from him, and he just went out around it, covered it, found the right spot. Tons of Yankee fans again this afternoon here at the ballpark.
Many here to see Brett Gardner, who played at the College of Charleston and hitting .271 with 12 homers this year for New York. Ellsbury, 17 steals this year, measures a lead, and that pitch is taken low. 1 ball, no strikes. Believe it or not, it's 69 degrees officially at first pitch. Up and away, ball 2.
Now even the base umpires are wearing windbreakers, short sleeve windbreakers today.
Popped him up. And Michael Bourne in shallow center will have a play on it. And There's out number 1. Always a key for the Braves, who, as you know, at times have struggled offensively, avoid early inning deficits. That's been a problem for Julio so far this year.
As it has been for just about every guy in the Braves rotation. Happened to Matt Whistler again last night. So anything you can do to avoid a run in the first and get off to a good start, like I said, is a bonus.
And that's why the Yankees have scored 108 first inning runs, more than anyone else. And this man's a big reason why. Carlos Beltran. Last 25 games, Beltran's knocked in 15 men. He's hit 5 homers and is riding a .358 batting average in that stretch. Different look for the Yankees tonight, or today I should say. Mark Teixeira not able to go, still coming back from that deep bone bruise on his shin. And with the National League rules in play, there's no chance for the Yankees to use Alex Rodriguez as the designated hitter, and they'd prefer to keep him out of the lineup defensively. 1 ball, no strikes for Beltran. 2-0.
Got Adonis Garcia way off the line at third base. Hamilton Simmons cheating up the middle, so they don't expect him to hit the ball to the left side. And if he does, not down the line at all.
Julio has an excellent pickoff move, as we've seen. Trying to slow down Ellsbury at first base. 1 on, 1 out. Beltran up. Brian McCann next. And a line drive softly hit toward left. That'll drop in front of Swisher for a hit. And the Yankees are at it again in the opening inning. 2 singles. And here's Brian McCann.
Fourth hit of the series for Beltran.
I'd say Brian has enjoyed his return to Atlanta, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
1 for 3 with a double and an RBI last night. 3 walks, 3 runs, 4 RBIs Friday. And a bouncing ball speared by Freeman at first. Good play by Freddie. That saved a run. Runners move up to second and third. McCann is out number 2.
That's a terrific play for a lot of different reasons. Just great athleticism by Freddie to get to it, but to save what might have been 2 runs already in the first inning for Julio is a big play. Now Julio can take things in his own hands and try to get Greg Bird get out of the inning. Now Brian McCann, if he keeps swinging like this, he's got an outside shot at 100 RBIs. Good month of September, he could do it.
And the Yankees need for him to do it. They're trying to chase down Toronto in the East. They have the Jays 7 more times head to head. They've got home and home series with Tampa Bay. And 7 more with the Red Sox, whom they play in their next series on the road. Quickly 0-2 to Greg Bird. Swing and a miss. Good job by Tehran. He had 2 on, 1 out. Got a ground out and a strikeout, and the Yankees are shut down in the top of the first. In Game 3 of the series, Freddy Gonzalez's starting 9 features Nick Markakis in the leadoff spot once again. Nick at 2.99 for the year. Swisher, Freeman, A.J. Przinsky cleans up. Garcia, Peterson, Simmons, Bourne 8th. Tehran 9th on the Academy Sports lineup. And get ready for some heat on a cool day at Turner Field today.
Nathan Eovaldi, 25 years old, 6'2", 215, out of Alvin, Texas. Now, as we told you, he's 8-0 over his last 12 starts. He has won 6 straight road games. But take a look at his interleague work this year. 4 starts, 0-1, a huge ERA. So maybe his old opponents in the National League that were very familiar with him did some damage, and perhaps the Braves can do the same today. He's 2-3 lifetime against Atlanta.
One of those starts, a dreadful one against the Marlins. He gave up 8 runs in 2/3 of an inning against the Marlins. And he just got Markakis to swing and miss on his first pitch at 77 miles an hour. Nick 2 for 10 in the series. A couple of homers, 48 RBIs overall. Pitch out of the way. It's 0-2.
And a few strikeouts in this series. Neither team hit on the field because it was covered due to some early morning rain, heavy rain.
That's out of play. It's 0-2. One ball, 2 strikes.
His fastball sits between 96 and 99. He can hit 100 with relative ease, and an excellent split finger pitch. And a slider. He was originally a Dodger, an 11th round draft pick out of Alvin, Texas. And they traded him to the Marlins before coming to New York.
That was in the David Phelps Martin Prado trade. And Markakis behind, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that's hit hard, foul, and out of play.
101. I was off by a mile an hour on his top end.
And as Joe mentioned, here's the average fastball velocity of Nathan Eovaldi.
Faster than anybody. Now last year with the Marlins he went 6-14 with a 4.37 ERA. So some adjustments Larry Rothschild helped him with his split finger pitch on his grip really has made a difference for him. He was throwing hard last year, but no results.
High hopper. Gregorius, nice play, and there's out number one. Bobby Cox said it forever here in Atlanta. Big league hitters can time a jet. And Larry Rothschild told me he was trying to help Eovaldi find something that would help hitters get off of that fastball. Eovaldi will give up a lot of hits with his fastball. The harder he throws it, the straighter it seems to get. But he got Markakis to roll out, and that's how the Braves game begins offensively. And Nick Swisher's coming up.
Well, you and I were talking before the game, Chip, about how there might be some similarities between Eovaldi and Mike Foltynewicz, who's working on a split finger pitch.
Downstairs, I'm guessing that Foltynewicz, simply because he doesn't have enough innings to work with, his fastball's as good as this guy's. He's not going to throw it 102. But Mike can rush it up there at 97, 98 when he wants. And that one at 100. And Swisher was late. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ground ball toward first. Bird's got that. And there's the second out. Here's the Yankees defense. Bird, Drew, Gregorius, and Headley first to third on the infield. Brian McCann's behind the plate. Gardner, Ellsbury, and Beltran. Those first two names can really fly. Ellsbury made a great catch here to rob Bethancourt of a hit and a couple of runs in the opening game of the series. Here's Freddie Freeman. He's 7 for 32 against Eovaldi, including a homer. And that one missed badly. 1 ball, no strikes.
Freddie Gonzalez trying to get as many lefties in there today as he can, including the switch hitting Swisher and Michael Bourne, because left-handers are hitting Eovaldi at a .314 clip.
And that surprises me in that lefties have only hit 4 homers against him, especially with him pitching in his home park.
Yeah, agreed. You know, his numbers aren't that eye-popping for a guy that's 13-2. His ERA is an even 4. 283 average against combined. 144 innings, 162 hits allowed.
Run support, and lots of it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Freeman didn't get that. And he'll stay alive.
What is that already? 4 pitches over 100?
He had 10 in his last start.
Yeah.
That was against Houston, and he's got an extra day of rest. That's something the Yankees are doing with their entire staff. So Eovaldi very strong in the opening moments. Strike 3. Was that a changeup?
It's a 92-mile-an-hour changeup.
Wow. He just struck out Freeman, and we head to the second.
Delta Airlines, and your local Ford dealer.
Superhero Day at the ballpark. Kids are having a great time. There are the capes handed out to the guests at the ballpark today. And another big crowd for the Braves and the Yankees.
Who is your favorite
Of that group?
No, the superheroes.
Oh, all time?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a Batman guy. Chase Headley leads off for the Yankees. How about you?
I had a couple. I like the Flash.
Yeah, you could run. I can see that.
Oh,
The Flash, right?
Yeah. And the elongated man. You could reach anything on any shelf.
Seeing as you're 6'4", 6'5", that seems to fit too. It makes perfect sense. As Tehran goes back to work. I mean, what would your favorite superpower be if you had?
Oh, there's no question about that. Fly.
Fly?
I think it'd be cool.
I'd like to have speed. What's it like to run like Usain Bolt? Sprint that quickly for 100 meters or longer than that. Full count for Headley as the Yankees start the second inning. Headley, Gregorius, and Stephen Drew are coming up. Julio got out of the first inning, gave up a couple of hits, but struck out Bird to end the threat. And we will do it again.
Julio will ramp it up 93, 94 if he's feeling good on any given day. One thing he can't do today is try to keep up and look at the radar gun and think that he's got to try to match Eovaldi.
He walks Headley. And the Yankees have their third base run of the game. I meant to ask you this on Friday night. Look, big league players are big league players. You go and play your opponent. But as young as this Braves team is there an intimidation factor when you look across the way and you say, hey, my goodness, we're playing the New York Yankees and these are the Bronx Bombers and all that stuff? Does that play into this series at all for some of the young players on this Atlanta roster?
I would hope not. And the reason I would think that it wouldn't be quite as big a deal now is that a lot of the big names are gone. They don't have any one player that stood out, that stands out, other than Alex Rodriguez, and he's not playing in this series. He's pinch hitting. But he certainly would be intimidating. Jeter's gone now, and along the way, Posada, Bernie Williams, Pettit, et al. Those guys all kind of retired along the way. Mariano Rivera. So it's not quite the same team of greatness that it was, at least in my opinion.
But it does still say New York.
Yeah,
does that,
I know.
When you came up, did that factor in? Because you were a big Yankee fan as a kid.
I was a huge Yankee fan, but when we'd go to New York and they had Reggie and Lou Piniella in that vintage, they just wore us out. They just beat us to death. So yes, that we were intimidated because of the greatness of that team.
Right. 1 strike for Didi Gregorius, who's hoping to begin his sprint to the finish line with this series in Atlanta, and he has been great. 2 homers, 9 RBIs in his last 3 games after Gregorius went 3 weeks without driving in a single run. Youth baseball teammate of Andrelton Simmons in Curacao. And the pitch is cut on and missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's a nice story on that duo in the New York Times today. And Andrelton told a story about Didi. Very quiet kid. He said the only thing you noticed about Didi was he wore a green long sleeve shirt when he played baseball. And it's, of course, 100 degrees in Curacao. Nobody wore long sleeves. But the green sleeves made him stand out. And then his talent made Gregorius stand out. Two balls, two strikes. And Teheran got him to swing and miss. One away for Stephen Drew.
Good pitch down and away. Bottom of the zone. That had a little heat on it. We might see a few U-turns today.
A strike. Drew signed a one-year deal this past January. He's a free agent again at the end of the year. Came to the Yankees at the deadline last year in the rarest of all big league trades, as he hits one the other way for a one-out single. Headley will stop at second, and the Yankees threaten again. The Yankees and Red Sox actually made a trade last year. It was to get Stephen Drew, the first trade between those teams since 1997. And now Eovaldi will be the hitter, and has a lot of experience doing that, of course, as a former Miami Marlin.
And because of the longtime rivalry between those two teams, the fact that Jacoby Ellsbury, as a free agent, went to New York, that was just hard for the Red Sox fans to swallow.
How about Wade Boggs when that happened, too? I mean, all that stuff. Kelly Johnson was the man that was traded to the Red Sox for Stephen Drew. And Kelly and the Mets are playing the Red Sox today and beating them in the fourth inning. A strike. Eovaldi took it. 0-1 the count. Eovaldi, not much of a big league hitter. He does have 11 career hits. His last came last September against the Mets. We'll try to bunt here and turn the lineup over to Ellsbury.
When you don't get much practice at it, you got some guy throwing low 90s, it's hard to soften it, so the Braves can afford to really charge him.
One ball, one strike. The bunt. Teheran's going to spin and flip to third for one. Long throw to first is late. And Teheran, cat-like quick, made a nice play to force Headley at third base. And now there are two out with runners at first and second.
Quick call. I think it was from AJ telling him 3-3. And to Julio's credit, he had to do a bit of a 180 spin there, but he didn't just turn and fire wildly here. He took a little off and made sure he made a good throw to get that lead out.
Good communication, good results, and here's Ellsbury, who singled to start the game. Jacoby missed 43 games with a bad knee. And fouled back, strike one. Ellsbury in year 2 of a 7-year contract. It's funny about the Yankees. Year after year, they have veteran offensive players, and this year a very young pitching staff. Ellsbury's no kid. Wonder how his deal's going to look when he's 36, 37 years old. One ball, one strike. And high and away, ball two. Beltran's up there in age. Teixeira, McCann. Headley's been around a while. That's into the seats. We'll do it again. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He was trying to make a good pitch there, so he didn't have to throw a strike 3 and 2. And a couple of pitches, a walk to Headley, and then this pitch, this last pitch, kind of spun out on him.
Another one out of play. Full count.
94.
Pitch 24 of the inning. And Teheran and AJ not yet on the same page. Had a few cross-ups that appeared last night too.
Yeah, that was confusing on several fronts because the cross-ups were coming with just about every pitcher that came in, throwing to Bethancourt. So you wondered who was getting crossed up.
Drew at second, Evaldi at first. Payoff pitch. Here it comes. Swing and a fly ball. Well hit deep right. Markakis will wave goodbye. Jacoby Ellsbury hits a 3-run homer after the meeting on the mound. And the Yankees have struck first in the second. It's 3-0. He didn't want to go to 3 and 2. He had to, and Ellsbury crushed it.
Slider too. They were trying to get a backdoor slider in there, but it had the middle of the plate. Wasn't an awful pitch. He just went down and got it.
So run support for Evaldi, who helps his cause. 3-0 New York, and here's Gardner, who popped out his first time up. That's over the screen and out of play. It's 0-2. 22 homers allowed by Julio this year, 13 of them now by a left-hand hitter. Popped him up. Simmons out. Bourne comes in. Michael's having some trouble, and he makes the play. Looking up into the high sky. Gardner pops out, but not before Ellsbury drills one out. 3-0 New York.
price every day.
3-0 New York on a Jacoby Ellsbury homer. Joe, we've talked about it before. Sometimes it's not how you pitch, but when you pitch. And Eovaldi seems to pitch when the Yankees score a ton of runs.
He seems to pick his days. I don't know if they give him the option on which day he wants to go out there, but he seems to pick the right ones. 7.1 runs of support. Drew Hutchinson of Toronto, the only guy that gets more, and not so coincidentally, he's also 13-2.
So Eovaldi staked to a 3-run lead. Will face Przinsky, Garcia, and Jace Peterson for the first time. And a strike. AJ's had a remarkable year for the Braves in many respects. First, his offensive numbers. He's hitting .293. He's hit 7 homers, 40 RBIs. He's a 38-year-old catcher. And that average, the 4th highest in history for a man at his position and his age. Line foul.
Who's the highest? Carlton Fisk, maybe?
That'd be my guess. Has the makings of a trivia question, but Carlton Fisk would be my guess. But then you factor in the defensive work that A.J. Przinsky has done and the staff he has had to handle this year. High hopper toward Drew at second, got the friendly bounce and makes the play. Think of all the men that have made their debuts for the Braves, or men that have so little big league experience, and Przinsky's caught the bulk of them for Atlanta this year. He's had an amazing year, I think.
Well, I think they will look back later in their career and realize what an impact he had on them. Some of the things he's shared with them.
Here's Adonis Garcia. Base is empty, 1 out. Garcia's got 3 hits in the series. And takes a low and outside, ball 1. Line drive to left. There's the first Atlanta hit. That was at 78 miles an hour, and Adonis didn't miss it.
Hanging curveball. Let her high. Lucky it stayed in the ballpark. But he hasn't done that too often, as you said earlier. Only 10 home runs allowed total.
Jace Peterson with a .241 average. Rips that one back to the screen. Strike 1. One ball, 1 strike. We were off just a bit on our guess by the highest batting average by a 38-year-old catcher. Chief Zimmer hit .307 in 1899. However, in the modern era, it was Bob Boone.
Really?
Who hit 1 point better than AJ's hitting right now. With the 1988 California Angels, Boone hit .295. AJ at .294. Carlton Fisk with the White Sox at '89 hit .293.
Interesting. I would never have guessed Boone because he was never known for his hitting. Always is a great catcher.
So there's the answers to who's first on that list. Chief Zimmer, Bob Boone, and then A.J. Przinsky.
Chief played for Cleveland, so that explains a lot there.
Two balls, two strikes. Was that 1899 team? I'll have to have Chan look it up. Was that the Spiders? Or were they the Indians then?
Worst team in baseball history was the Cleveland Spiders, right?
Yep.
Lost like 120
games.
Yeah.
Something awful like that. Finished the season on the road because nobody wanted to go see him at home. So they had finished the year with like a 60-game road trip. Cy Young, though, once pitched for the Cleveland Spiders. Two balls, two strikes. And a breaking ball of beauty. Peterson took it. He's out number two. Garcia at first for Andrelton Simmons. It was on that 1899 Cleveland Spiders team. Wait till you hear what their record was.
There's a better curveball, but it was still up, and he got the call and the benefit of the doubt there.
So I'm going to hopefully make Braves fans happy right now in what's been a disappointing year in some respects. Braves start play tonight 54-75. The 1899 Cleveland Spiders played 154 games and won 20 of them.
That's a rough year.
That's a bad year.
No wonder they changed their name.
No balls at a strike for Andrelton Simmons.
I guess Chief is about all they had going for him that year.
Sounds like it. He had 20 game-winning RBIs. In fact, maybe the only 20 RBIs the Spiders had all year. Ground ball to Gregorius at short. He loves to backhand the ball, and he made a nice play. And that retires the side. Braves get their first hit, but nothing else, and trail by 3 early. Iconic photograph here in Atlanta. The unmistakable knuckleball grip of Hall of Famer Phil Niekro, who's kind enough to join us in the booth on this beautiful afternoon for baseball. Haven't seen you in a while. You're looking great.
Well, gentlemen, I haven't been up here for a while, but it's good to see you, and gentlemen, too, and I mean gentlemen.
Wow.
I recognize gentlemen when I
do
see
you?
gentlemen. Yes, I do.
Have you had your eyes checked?
I'm going to get some next week.
Yeah, you're good.
Hang around a little more often. We'll change your mind.
Yeah, I was just back there. You got a little, like this little kitchen back there, a little kitchenette. You got a refrigerator. I looked in there, and there was water in there only.
Yeah.
What's going on?
That's a mixer.
You just think.
Oh, is that what it is?
No, you just think that's
yeah, I know. It's somewhere. I know.
Oh, man. Carlos Beltran goes to work for the Yankees as we start the third inning and pops it up. And And A.J. Pierzynski gives chase, tries to do his Spider-Man routine, but it's out of reach. Strike 2 to Beltran.
That's that fan from Moultrie, Georgia, caught that ball.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
I recognize him.
Well, you've been around the Braves a long time. You know all the fans.
A few of them. Some of them, you know, he's still in the nursing homes. They can't get out here, but hello to all of them. And I know they watch the games every day. Every day they watch it.
Fly ball center. Michael Bourne takes a roundabout route and gets there for out number 1. Tough sky for the center fielder right now.
Phil, you've seen this team play all year long, and especially with the young pitching. What's been your assessment about some of their progress or lack thereof?
Well, for a while there, I thought they were going to contend. I think, you know, around that All-Star break, they looked like they may do something, and I don't know. You know, to win, you got to play defense, you got to hit, and you got to pitch. I think you get all 3 of those going, you got something going, and they seem like sometimes they get one going and not the other 2, and 2 going and not the other one. It just doesn't work that way. So they just haven't been able to put that whole picture yet together, and hopefully they will.
Young club. You see some growing pains from these young players. That's part of it, I would guess, right?
I think the pitching, yeah, there's some young pitchers on there. Some pitchers got some great arms. I don't think you just learn how to pitch yet, but you know, Roger, as good as he is, he'll figure it out. It takes a little time sometimes.
From your perspective as a Hall of Famer, how has the pitching part of Major League Baseball changed the most?
Wow, that's a good question, Chip. I don't know. It's a fly ball.
McCann again to center. Bourne's really fighting the sun, but he got there. 2 out.
I think right now, personally, with my opinion, I think there's more throwers out there than there are pitchers. You know, you don't see many real good pitchers anymore. They're not worried about throwing the ball hard or got to be in the 90s or 92, 3 to get guys out. No, you don't see the Maddoxes anymore in small season Glavins, that guys that paint the picture. There are portraits out there, and everybody thinks you got to go out there and throw as hard as you can, and sometimes it just doesn't work.
In your era, were there any guys that threw 94, 95 like we see almost everybody pitching on a staff now?
You know, I think every once in a while you did have some guys pump it up there. Receivers, you know, see if we could throw a bit hard. And Steve Carlton, not exceptionally hard. A couple of relievers now and then. But most guys, the Marichals, the Spawns, those guys didn't throw hard. But I tell you, they could throw the ball where they wanted to, and that's the name of the game. Everybody's got weaknesses, and scouts found out where those weaknesses were, and the guys pitched to them, and they were pretty successful.
3 balls, no strikes for Greg Bird with 2 outs. Yankees up 3-0 on an Ellsbury second-inning homer. And that hit the spot. 3-1. That's out of play by the Yankee first baseman.
You spent some time with both of these organizations. What was your time like wearing pinstripes?
You know, I enjoyed it up there, Joe. I won my 300th game with them. I enjoyed it up there. It's a little different atmosphere up there in the Big Apple and playing for the Yankees. But hey, the mound was still 60 feet 6 inches, no matter where you play the game.
Bird takes a walk. Now, there's a story online that I wanted to ask you about. I've been dying to ask you about this. It says that the day you faced Toronto and pitched a shutout for your 300th complete game, you didn't throw the knuckleball hardly at all. Is that?
Well, my last pitch.
Last pitch, but no knuckleballs until the last pitch.
No, they won the pennant the night before, and I think they were so champagned out. I don't even think they even know that was pitched against them.
They thought it was a knuckleball.
They thought. And everybody was looking for it. And, you know, I got by the first couple innings. And third, fourth, we started scoring the runs. Willie Randolph came in second. Said, what's going on? He called Butch Weininger to the catcher. I says, you haven't called any knuckleballs. And I said, no, I don't think I'm going to throw any today. And I think Willie said, well, now, what have you guys been drinking? and I didn't. Until I got to 2 strikes with Jeff Burroughs in the bottom of the 9th. And my father was real little at that time. And Butch said, you want to throw a knuckleball, don't you? I said, yeah. I said, I can't think of a better way to win my 300th game than not throwing a knuckleball. And that's the only one I threw.
I'll be darned.
Fly ball by Chase Headley, hammered deep center. Bourne on the way back, not going to get it. Home run, Chase Headley. Wow. Straight into the wind and straight out to center. 2 big homers by the Yankees. They lead 5-0. And all the runs have come with 2 out.
You know, guys, we've talked about this good run that Julio's been on, how he's cut down on his walks and his homers. Well, today, 2 walks, 2 homers. And we're only in the 3rd inning. That ball really jumped.
Yeah, dead center, 400 feet. Well, there are days like that, man. As you all know, you've seen it. You've seen the best get ripped out there pretty good. I remember pitching in Chicago one time. I got knocked out so early. By the time I got up in the clubhouse, they were playing the end of the national anthem. You know, that's quick.
Yeah.
That's as quick as you can do it.
Yeah, for me, that was my quickest ever.
1 ball, no strikes for Didi Gregorius. And up and in.
I don't think there's enough of that.
Yeah,
I don't either.
Probably.
I don't either.
I'm not talking about hitting somebody or squaring up. To just let them know, hey, I'm out here, and you know, have a little respect for them. Even though I've given up a couple home runs, I'm not going to let it right down the middle. I could never do that. See, they just pick the ball up and throw it back at me and say, hey, you know, I think a mosquito bit me there or something. If I hit him.
2-0 pitch. Well, that's the amazing thing about your career. I hate to use the term trick pitch, but
no, go ahead, use it. You just did.
But you weren't throwing 95-mile-an-hour fastballs. You had to rely on physics to find the strike zone, not just your talent.
Well, you know, Chip, I knew that's all I had. That got me there, and that was going to keep me there. I knew I couldn't throw the ball by anybody. If I come to a fastball situation, I'd take a little bit off, get a little sinker on it, maybe a little slider away. But, you know, I just never gave anybody 2 or 3 fastballs in a row because I wasn't that kind of a pitcher. And I think you learn over the years, you know, experience is a great teacher for you. And as years go by and months go by, you learn just a little bit more out there, which I did. You play for 23 years, you get to learn a lot. You know, of course, I won a lot. I won 218 games, but I lost 5 of them. Yeah. That's a lot of games to lose. A lot of people didn't think I lost that many games, but I did.
Because you were out there for a long time. You weren't rarely knocked out of games early. You were around for the
Except
decision.
that one in Chicago, yeah.
You know how many complete games you pitched in the major leagues?
No, I don't.
You started 716. You completed 245 of them.
Well, it's not real good, is it? That's not even half.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
And Stephen Drew digs in with 2 in and a man aboard. And he hits one down the right field line, and that one's going to go.
You got to be kidding me.
New York came to town struggling to score runs. They had the lowest batting average in Major League Baseball in the month of August. They've gotten well the last 2 days and 3 innings.
A pair of 2-run homers for the Yankees in the 3rd. Whistler gave the Braves some relief as a starter with a good outing yesterday. And Julio might have to take one for the team today because, with all due respect to Johnny Gomes pitching Friday night, that's something the Braves don't want to see again. What did you think about Johnny's performance?
What, first pitch home run, second pitch home run, double?
Yeah.
You know, I've done that before, so I don't think it was anything unusual for anybody to get out there to do that. He kept the ball. Was that he kept the ball? The
strikeout. Yes.
The strikeout. Yeah.
What I loved, he says, "Wow, ball comes off the bat hot."
Yeah. By the time you get rid of it, it's now, you know, I don't know, 58, not 59 feet. By the time it gets back there.
But Johnny was, I don't know if Johnny uncorked a knuckleball or not, but his fastball was, I guess, 65, 70 miles an hour.
Well, that's about where mine was. With a good wind behind me, I could get it up there 75, maybe 80.
Knoxie, it's great to see you.
Thank you, gentlemen. You guys do a great job. Good to see you.
Keep that gentleman thing going.
Yeah, we like that.
Pass it around.
I know, gentlemen.
Okay.
Good health. Good luck to everybody.
Fox Sports celebrates 50 years of the Atlanta Braves.
Check it out. Fan said on that poster, release the Gomes. Check him out. Johnny Gomes' face plastered on the Craig Kimbrell poster. That was a good look. But what is it looking good is the score. Nathan Eovaldi has 7 runs again. 3 homers by the Yankees. They lead 7-0 as Michael Bourne goes to work in the Atlanta third. So we'll see how Eovaldi pitches with a big lead.
I just hate those 4 runs on 2 hit innings.
Yeah, with 2 outs.
If it's 4 runs on 4 hits, okay. But those free passes.
Well, how about the 2 out runs in the series? I mean, that's what killed Perez on Friday night.
Exactly.
2 quick outs, then bang, 5 runs. Second inning, 2 quick outs, bang, 4 runs with a couple of walks. Phew. And that's off the plate for Michael. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Baldy sure has thrown a lot of backdoor sliders already today. He won't have to throw near as many now.
And Michael didn't get that. He's retired. There's out number 1. 3 strikeouts for the Yankees righty.
Now that's the pitch that we called a changeup to Freddie Freeman that struck him out earlier. And I don't know if that's his. Yeah, it is his split. That's his split that he left up. But that's his changeup. And it's 91-92. And that's good enough off his 101-102.
That one blazed in at 100 and high. 1 ball, no strikes.
109, did you say?
Probably looked like it. Hello. Ball 2. Well, the Yankees rotation is in a bit of a uncertain stage. CC Sabathia is out with a bad knee. They started the kid Luis Severino last night. He was pretty impressive. You've got Eovaldi. Who's a 13-game winner. Tanaka started here Friday night. He's though got some elbow issues that they have to work very carefully around. There are a lot of Yankee fans who were very upset that New York didn't go out and get a David Price at the trading deadline. If they score 7 runs a night, they're not going to need it.
No. Well, they go to Boston from here, and the Red Sox have taken 2 in a row from the Mets, so the Red Sox might be riding pretty high.
Full count pitch for Julio, and that's grounded foul. And Tehran broke his bat. As we mentioned, the Yankees have the top position in the AL wild card, but they want to win the division.
They've got a real good homestand coming up against Tampa Bay, Baltimore, and Toronto. That's a crucial homestand for them. They've really got to make some ground up in the division against Toronto, especially in that 3-game homestand, 3-team homestand.
Grounded toward Bird, diving stop. Eovaldi to the bag. Nice play. 2 outs. But as you saw with those are good teams they're playing, and that winning percentage is something that isn't going to make things easy for the Yankees. Those clubs combined to win 51% of their games so far. So not many cakewalk opportunities for New York. The other thing is they got to get healthy. They got to get Teixeira back, and with interleague play, A-Rod back in the lineup.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen Teixeira. I really expected to see him at least by today, and they may have thought the same thing. So you got to figure it's going to happen any day now that he's back in the lineup. Mark's had a great year.
Up and away to Nick Markakis, who bounced out to short after a lengthy first inning battle with Nathan Eovaldi. Nick Markakis is our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot. Look at his numbers against the Yankees.
And more hits against the Yanks than anybody, or third most, excuse me.
Three balls and a strike. And Markakis draws a walk. First free pass issued by Eovaldi. It comes with 2 outs. Nick hitting .212 with the Braves. And took low, ball 1. Nick was an all-star with the Yankees back in 2010. The Braves are his 5th big league team. Eovaldi's having some aimage trouble. 2 balls, no strikes. .97 on the corner works.
It's a nice fallback.
And what a difference a year makes. Last year, Nate Eovaldi had the lowest run support in baseball. This year, 2nd highest. And there's a shot down the right field line. Did Swisher keep it fair? He did not.
He was trying to. He had a body lean going, trying to keep it fair, but too much hook.
He was looking in the dugout, hoping for a challenge, perhaps. But none's coming. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ooh.
We've seen some good breaking balls. We've seen some bad ones too, but we've seen a few good ones. First pitch of the ball game was a good slider.
Runner goes, and Swisher fouled it away. Downstairs, another walk.
That's nice. Braves don't hit many home runs, but the guy that's hit the most is coming to the plate to get him back in this ball game.
And we've seen the ball jump on a windy day today at home. Let's see if Freeman can connect. He struck out in the opening inning. Freddie with 3 hits in his last 18 at bats. Modified shift on for the Yankees. And Freddie didn't get it. Strike 1.
Eovaldi's walk total, his walk high for the year is 4. And oddly enough, even with his velocity, he has not reached double digits in strikeouts in any game. 9 is his high. Second game of the season.
Broken bat. That's going to drop in shallow left. Markakis running at the crack of the bat. The Braves are on the board. That time the shift cost the Yankees. Freeman drives home his 50th run. And the Braves cut the lead to 7-1.
Jammed, fought off, dumped, and a beautiful Ric Flair to left for an RBI.
Here's AJ. Scalded foul, strike 1. This is game number 82 in the career of A.J. Pierzynski against the Yankees. He's hit 7 homers and driven home 33 in that stretch. Sharply hit, and Gregorius can't handle it. Here comes Swisher around to score. Again, Gregorius with a backhanded stab. Couldn't come up with it. Pierzynski brings home a second Atlanta run.
Well, the Braves have got one of those 2-run homers back. Pitch that stayed up again. And you're right, with Gregorius on this occasion, not quite as easy for him to get around it and get in front of it, but still playing it off to the side. It cost him a chance to add on and cut into that deficit. Maybe he'll hang another one to Garcia like he did his first time up.
Quick visit with Larry Rothschild, the Yankees pitching coach. All this coming with 2 outs, back-to-back walks, then back-to-back singles by Freeman and A.J. Pierzynski. Heavy workload for Eovaldi, who got the first 2 outs quickly. And it's line right to Drew, who is playing behind the second base bag.
What are you doing there, Steven? Don't you know where you're supposed to play at second?
2 runs on 2 hits. We go to the 4th.
Fourth we go. Julio Teheran back out there on the mound, and you guys talked about it earlier that Julio is going to have to tough this one out despite a rough start for him, because that bullpen has been taxed and they're going to be busy in the coming days. They know that. Yesterday the Braves made a move. They optioned Williams Perez back down to Gwinnett. They brought up Jake Brigham, the right-handed reliever, and Brigham and Sugar Ray Marmon have both been stretched out in Gwinnett recently, but there's still the question, fellas, of what happens when Perez's spot in the rotation comes up on Wednesday. As of yet, there's not been a definitive answer there, but it could just wind up falling on the hands of the bullpen.
What day is Tuesday?
What day of the week?
Yeah, no, it's September 1st. Okay, Williams Perez could come back up after rosters expand and make his turn.
That's possible. Edwin Jackson could start. Could have a piggyback game, or as Jen mentioned, you could have Jake Brigham start. A lot of options for the Braves. They've not announced their starter, as Jen said on Wednesday. Adam Conley is going to pitch for Miami. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then we hit the road again as Jacoby Ellsbury bats and takes a strike.
Now, I say that without knowing what the plans are for the Gwinnett club or how many guys might get called up when they can be expanded, because Gwinnett has fought their way within 2 games of first place. They beat first place Norfolk last night 2-0. Great job by Ryan Weber, 2-hitter over 6 innings, shut him out. Brian Kelly worked a perfect 9th.
Hector Oliveira had an RBI too, and we've been hearing about Oliveira for about the last week or so, that he could be up here at some point as early as Tuesday, but that falls right into the point you're making about Gwinnett. They're playing for something right now.
So is Mississippi. They're within a half game of first place. They won 8-2 last night, and John Gant, who the Braves got in a trade in July, won his 4th straight game since the trade.
Rio Ruiz is on a great streak too. Remember, he was one of the prospects acquired from Houston in the Evan Gattis trade. Ruiz is riding a 14-game hitting streak. He's hitting .370 in that stretch. That's really good news for Rio Ruiz. As Ellsbury spoiled another pitch and will stay alive, full count. Don't know how many guys the Braves will call up in September. A lot of them have already been here or already are here. Youngsters we're talking about. But to Jen's point, it's clear right now that is a very heavily used bullpen for the Braves at this point in the schedule. Fouled away. 2-for-2 game for Ellsbury. A first inning single, a second inning 3-run homer. And Ellsbury has forced an 11 pitch at bat. Julio's probably shaking his head too. Jacoby can't get it by you. In the air to right. Markakis on the run, reaches up and makes a terrific running catch.
Boy, was that a quick swing inside. After all those pitches and fouling off pitch after pitch to the left side, they come in on him, and I mean a short Johnny Gomes type quick turn on that ball. Terrific catch by Nick. He didn't have much time at all to react to it.
Brett Gardner's had an all-star year for the Yankees, and they had an amazing note in their stat pack that Joe and I are still scratching our heads about. Brett Gardner is just the 5th position player drafted by the Yankees and to make the All-Star game as a Yankee. The 5th position player in Yankee history. Thurman Munson, Don Mattingly, Derek Jeter, Jorge Posada, and Brett Gardner.
That's not many.
In the air toward left center. That ball is being pushed away from Bourne, but he got there on the track. Two nice running catches, two out.
The wind's blowing in and across, but this ball was going to be pushed away from Michael. He had him positioned perfectly over to left center. Nice play.
Julio likes it. And here we are with two outs. Let's see if he can end the inning efficiently. Here's Beltran.
When I was talking about this Yankee team not having that great intimidation factor because they no longer have that core of great players. If you put this guy in his prime.
Yeah, he went around
with a couple of other guys like Teixeira in his prime and McCann, then all of a sudden you've got more New York Yankee factor.
Well, the old guys have shown it in game 3. 3 homers for New York. They lead 7-2. Those folks from California, hopefully they can see Atlanta come back from a 5-run deficit here in the 4th inning. Time for our AT&T Universe trivia question. Carlos Beltran's one of 2 active players with 300 career homers and 300 career steals. Who is the other player to do that? .300 homers, 300 steals. We'll think about that as Jace Peterson goes to work. Eovaldi had a heavy workload in his last inning. Braves touched him for a couple of 2-out runs. Three long homers off of Julio Teheran. The difference so far today is they've only missed inside 1 and 2. And a swing and a miss. Something off speed. We'll see if it was the split. Eovaldi has strikeout number 4 today. He's gotten Peterson twice.
was just a breaking ball. Slow curve. So he can use that as a changeup off his split.
Simmons, the batter, base is empty. He bounced out in the second. The more I think about it, the more I really like your comparison of the potential of Mike Foltynewicz and Nathan Eovaldi. Similar frames, similar arms, similar arsenal. Although Foltynewicz's breaking stuff is still in progress, as is the split. But as with any pitching prospect, you think about what if. What if it all comes together for Mike as it did for Eovaldi, who had a losing record last year in Miami.
And that's what we were discussing the other day when Foltynewicz last pitched, is that it is such a talent. Not everybody can do what these guys can do. So you work with it, cultivate it, try to enhance it the best you can, and see what you come up with. And for Eovaldi, it looks like just a simple adjustment on the grip of his split finger pitch, and 7 runs a game has made a huge difference for him.
Well, I would think that if he was going to answer honestly, that last part of that sentence would be the bigger help. As TP, check out the vertical. And Simmons is down on strikes. McCann will throw to first. And there's out number 2.
Tell you what, TP's in good shape. He's on the road every day. He's in that fitness room at the hotel on that treadmill or that Stairmaster, working it. Finely tuned machine.
The Stairmaster or Terry?
TP.
Oh, okay. Ball 1 to Michael. Line right at Headley. The Braves have a couple of Adam balls, and look at Bourne. He might have 15 at bats just like that since he put on a Braves uniform again. No luck for Michael Bourne to the Braves today so far. With Mac Honey and the gang on Wednesday after we wrap up our series with the Marlins, a road trip that will take us to Washington and Philadelphia to take on the Phillies.
Superhero day.
All right, you see that youngster there, right?
Yeah.
You want him or the man sitting right by the Braves on deck circle. Mano a mano. Squared circle. The Hulk or the champ?
Well, since that Hulk appeared to be 5 years old, I'm probably going to take Evander.
Bouncing ball to first. Freeman will make the play, and McCann's retired. Always great to see Evander Holyfield at the ballpark on Superhero Day at Turner Field.
Speaking of being in good shape.
Yeah. One out for Bird. A 2-out walk from Tehran led to the Chase Headley at bat and a 2-run homer to center. Marlins are here tomorrow. They're in Washington today, and they are trying to spoil things for the Nationals again. They're winning 4-2 in the 5th inning. Nationals are 5.5 behind the Mets. That's Brad Hand and Steven Strasburg.
Strasburg's been good since the All-Star break, since he came back from the DL.
Ground ball right side. That one's going to creep through for Bird. And he has a 1-out single. And here's Chase Headley, who's walked and homered.
Bird's been solid in this series. Our first look at him. He's only been in the big leagues a week. Broke in with a bang with a 2-home-run game. But he has 4 walks in these 3 games. And now 3 hits.
Strike 1 to Headley.
Stirring around in the Braves dugout, contemplating the fact that Tehran's place in the batting order comes up first next inning, or the bottom of this inning. So already some action.
Yeah, Julio has not been as sharp as we've seen him in starts past here at home. 3 walks, 3 homers, and 7 hits in 4 1/3 innings. Got that called a strike. 2-2 your count.
Sherwin-Williams painting the corners. Headley wasn't sure about this call. Never looked like it had the plate, and didn't.
Don't argue with Ed Hickox. He's a sworn police officer in Daytona Beach Shores, Florida, in the offseason. Three balls, 2 strikes. High hopper. That's going to bounce through for a hit. Headley has a perfect day brewing. And Tehran with 1 out. Pitch number 100 for Tehran.
Headley's a switch hitter, but that was kind of it was a very professional swing. First base occupied. Hands roll over the top of this, trying to pull the ball. Didn't hit it hard, but it looked like that's exactly what he was trying to do, just to pull something on the ground through that open hole.
Strike one for Gregorius.
You and I were talking about Gregorius before the ball game, and we had a chance to see him a little bit in Arizona, but not a whole lot. But how impressive he's been in this series. I mean, he's had a tremendous series, and who wouldn't be impressed? But he's a solid player, and what a great find for the Yankees to make the deal to get him to take the place, if you want to call it that, of Derek Jeter.
Think how hard that has to be for any young player to take the place of any favorite Yankee, but the iconic number 2, Derek Jeter. And Gregorius has done a nice job of that. 1 ball, 1 strike. In the air, shallow center. Bourne's got to come chugging on. Can't get there. He'll throw towards second. Nobody at the bag. All hands are safe. And the bases are loaded for New York on 3 consecutive hits. And that is that for Julio Teheran.
They might have had a chance at the runner at second base, but no one was there because, first of all, Jace went out thinking he might have a chance to catch the ball. And then Anderson's got to be the relay man to third, so he's not near the bag. Tough day for Teheran.
4 1/3 innings, 9 hits, 7 runs so far, 3 homers. Decisive, and he leaves with the bases full. For the Miami Marlins. Game 1 of the set comes your way here tomorrow night. Here are your Chevron starters.
Chris Narveson, a left-hander the Braves have seen before while he was with Milwaukee. 1-1 this year with a high ERA for the Fish. Mike Foltynewicz still working on some things, especially a new split finger pitch of his own. But learning on the job at the big league level and improving, at least in my eyes, each and every start.
And these are important games in this regard. You always want to finish as close to the top of your division as you can. The Braves are in 3rd place right now in the East. And at the moment, they're only 2.5 games ahead of the Marlins and the Phillies, who are tied for 4th in Eastern Division play.
Yeah, that'll be a battle in itself.
So Sugar Ray Marimon comes on in a mess. Bases loaded for Stephen Drew. 1 out.
Marimon pitched great here Friday night. 2 innings of relief, no hits or runs.
And that missed inside, I guess. Marimon with a long look in at Ed Hickox, who has a very tight strike zone by reputation.
Let's take another look at Sherwin-Williams painting the corners. He gave one to Teheran, and he taketh away.
Out of play foul, 1 ball, 1 strike.
You saw Didi Gregorius have that big night here Friday night, drove in 6 runs. How about the day Edwin Encarnacion had yesterday for Toronto? 3 homers, 9 driven in.
The Braves get to see the Jays for 3 games back here in Atlanta. 2-1 count. I think Toronto has the longest active playoff drought working in the major leagues, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, now that Kansas City got in last year, I think it goes back to '93
World Series year.
Yeah.
Yep. They're in excellent position to take care of that this year. The question for the Jays is, where will they be? A wild card or a division champion? 3-1 for Drew. Got to throw him a strike. And he didn't. Bases loaded walk. That brings home Bird, and it makes it an 8-2 game. Here's the AL East at the moment. The Yankees hoping to gain some ground today. But Toronto is winning handily at home over the Tigers. That's a 6-2 score at Rogers Center. As we mentioned, the Yankees play the Jays head-to-head a lot, so this division will probably come down to the final couple of days of regular season play.
Yeah, Baltimore has really fallen off. 10 back, as you saw. They've lost 3 in a row again, and 9 out of 10.
The little engine that could continues to be the Twins. They're only a game and a half out. They trail the Rangers for the second wild card in the AL. Boy, did Texas push all the right buttons at the deadline. A, they didn't trade Giovanni Gallardo. B, they got Cole Hamels. And C, they added to their bullpen with Jake Diekman and Sam Dyson. Those 2 men have really helped their relief corps. Line, Freeman speared that at first. Evaldi with a seed to the right side is retired for the second out.
I can't believe no one got doubled off on that. With the infield drawn in there on the corners, that ball got to him so quickly. Stephen Drew could see it coming, so he could get back, but the other guys has a pretty good base running.
So here's arch villain number 1, Jacoby Ellsbury.
He's been swinging at the first pitch too.
Not that time. 1 ball, no strikes.
What's happened to the Braves Friday night when Ross Detweiler came in for Williams Perez, and he walked in 2 runs in the second inning.
In the air toward left, but Swisher is there. And that will retire the side. New York adds a run, charge it to Julio Teheran, who gives up 8 today. A-List member today and get exclusive benefits customized to meet your unique needs. SunTrust Park seating priority is still being given to current A-List members, so become a member today and get closer to securing your seats for SunTrust Park in 2017. Visit Braves.com/A-List and join the A-List today.
Nice hat, sir.
Is that Sir Topham hat from Thomas the Tank Engine fame?
Okay.
Look, when you have a 6-year-old around the house and Thomas the Tank Engine's on, you got
okay. Yeah, I got you now. I thought maybe it was one of your faves.
Sugar Ray Marimo. Well, you got to figure he's going to have a good at bat. You've got the champ Evander Holyfield and Sugar Ray in the batter's box.
Yes, sir. Bob. And he's 1 for 2 this year already.
1 ball, 2 strikes. But it's Sugar Ray who says no mas. He is retired on an Evaldi breaking ball. And Evaldi has his first out here in the home 5th. 6 strikeouts today.
I've been wondering this all year, and I keep forgetting to ask. I should ask Julio, I guess, about this. But at home, do Sugar Ray's relatives call him Sugar? Or do they call him Sugar Ray, or do they call him Ray?
I don't know.
SR?
Now, if he lived here in Atlanta full time, you know it'd be Sugar Ray.
It'd be Sugar.
Sugar Ray.
Southern ladies are calling him Sugar.
As Nick Markakis digs in, clouding up here at the old ball yard. New York 8, Braves 2, a 7-run onslaught in the second and third innings.
Any chance for about a 4-inch deluge striking between now and the 3rd out of this inning?
Well, there's always a chance, but probably not likely. Lined out of play. It's now 2-2. Well, what you see out of Evaldi today is what you hope we'll see happens to the Braves' young starters that they're starting to put together. Whistler took a big step forward yesterday after first the base hit by Markakis the other way. Look at him hustle down the line to first. Another hit for Nick against the Yankees, his first of the day today. He's aboard with 1 out.
It's an 11-game streak, right?
And I thought Matt Whistler was really, really good yesterday. Fell behind 1-0 on the wild pitch. You can live with that. But after a winless August, Whistler looked like the Whistler we saw when he first came up.
Right.
And you hope the same for Fultonevich tomorrow. And the point I'm trying to make is they can be doing what Nathan Evaldi's doing for the Braves next year.
Go from 6-14 to 13-2.
Would you take that from a couple of those young guys?
Yeah.
A lot has to go right. Got to get some runs, obviously. But these are valuable lessons those guys are learning. And you're right about the Markakis 11-game streak. And Swisher the batter.
Chance keeping track of all of his 100-mile-an-hour pitches, 100-plus pitches today. He's thrown 12 so far, all from the windup.
Yeah, so the hitter scouting him can say, well, it's a lot easier to hit. He's only throwing 97 when he gets to the stretch. Yikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and foul back. What was a very windy day has now calmed considerably. Not much wind at all blowing at the ballpark.
A lot of the hitters now, including Nick Swisher, are using those grips on their bat, the tape wrap like on a golf club. It's spongy and soft and comfortable. You know, on between pine tar 2 gloves and that kind of grip, I don't know how you would ever lose a grip of the bat.
One ball, 2 strikes.
We used to use friction tape, black friction tape on our bats because it was tacky. But that was before Hawk Harrelson introduced us to batting gloves.
Tacky as in sticky, not as in
both.
Oh. Ugly to the eyes.
By the time you had dirt on there and everything else,
right.
It was not so good looking.
What was that like when Hawk wore the batting gloves, the golf glove? I know he was a very flamboyant dresser and was bigger than life personality. Did players like that? Did they think that was just Hawk being Hawk?
I think because everybody knew he was such a good golfer, they thought they just it was in keeping with the fact that he was out there and probably experimenting with his golf glove, which is what he did.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Hawk, of course, a legendary broadcaster with the White Sox, and he would say to Nick Swisher, he gone after Eovaldi struck him out. I don't know the answer to this, but I'll venture a guess. If Hawk had a couple of hits the first day he wore the glove, there was no way he was going to take it off.
You know it. There's the split finger. The pitch has been up a lot today, but it's off speed enough to make the hitter freeze, kind of lock up like they were all geared up for that 97 plus fastball. And what's this?
And it, as you said, it's up. It starts high but finishes in the zone, it looks like, too, right?
Right. But that's not what he's trying to do. I'm guessing. I haven't seen him pitch this year live, but I'm guessing he wants us to start, at the knees and go down from there.
No balls and a strike. Markakis at first for Freddie Freeman. And he hits it the other way for a clean hit. Freddie's got 2 hits today. Markakis will stop at second.
Now, Hawk was not the first to use gloves while hitting. I've got a picture of Joe DiMaggio wearing leather work gloves during batting practice, probably in spring training, trying to prevent or protect some blisters. Not that he would ever use them in a game, but he was using them during batting practice.
Those guys would swing without the gloves, build up calluses and strengthen the hands, right? That's
nobody ever thought to use them.
Right.
But I've got a picture of DiMaggio wearing them.
Were they like welder's gloves or something?
No, like not that you would know, but like hardworking, like garden type gloves, leather.
Yeah, what's that? Thanks a lot. No balls in a strike. 8-2 Yankees lead here in the 5th. I'll bet Joe DiMaggio made those gloves look elegant too, didn't he?
Probably, yeah, he did. The funny thing was the caption said, "He's hitting the ball so hard he's got to wear gloves."
Really?
Yeah. And boy, do we have gloves now. All colors, sizes, brands.
Downstairs, 2 balls and a strike. There's a method that and I don't know what it is specifically, but there's a way that the Braves bat boys stack those batting gloves in the dugout. I mean,
I don't know what the method is or the madness.
How in the world can you find your batting gloves in that mess?
I don't know, unless it's by batting order. I don't know. Now you got all the elbow guards. So it's like a store down there.
Yard sale.
Yeah. Shin guards, elbow guards, batting gloves.
We'll have to ask Lieutenant Dan about that. Or maybe, I know Chris Van Zant's watching the game downstairs.
He and Ben got a good grip on that.
They could probably,
so to speak.
You are in mid-season form. There's Lieutenant Dan. Best bat boy clubhouse man in the business. And a student at Georgia State. About to wrap up his degree. Ground ball slowly hit out towards second. And the flip there will retire the side. Batting glove stacking is Lieutenant Dan's curriculum major. Just in case you wanted to know, we go to the 6th. Zombie night at Turner Field on Friday, September 18th, when the Braves take on the Phillies. The ticket package includes a zombie survival kit, access to zombie makeup artists, and a pregame zombie walk around the field. For details, visit Braves.com. I wonder if the good folks in Sonoya will come up for that game.
Yeah, but they got to start now because it's a slow walk.
It's a very slow walk. Got to account for traffic on the connector. And Sugar Ray goes back to work for Atlanta as we head to the 6th inning. Brett Gardner leads off. Well, we heard from Chris Van Zant, who is watching the game.
Okay.
But he did not have any specifics about how they stack the batting gloves and how that is done in an orderly fashion.
Well, it's always good to hear from Chris, even though he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah. Popped up to short, and Gardner's retired for out number 1. Be careful, he may reassign your seat on the bus.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Here's Beltran. He's 1 for 3. I know that over the course of the season, when players get new shoes or new gloves, new shin guards and the like, a lot of that stuff gets boxed up and sent down to the minor leagues. I'm not sure which level. Maybe it goes to rookie ball or the Dominican kids. I don't know. But it seems like I know Chris and Ben are always boxing up used baseball gear to help out the kids in the minor leagues.
Not just that. I know a lot of the Latin players will sometimes put out a big box for any extra or old
Ground ball, Beltran, and that got through Jace Peterson. A lot of backhanditis working in the game today for both clubs. That one cost Jace. And a runner at first with one out.
Jace hasn't been making any mistakes like this lately. He just raised his glove up too soon. They didn't say base hit, did they?
They did.
What? It went right through his legs. Come on. It went right through his legs. He's a major league second baseman. Anyway, the Latin players will put out a big box, and anybody that's got gloves they're not going to use, long sleeves, socks, shoes, whatever, and they will box them up and send them to their home country for kids, for underprivileged kids in their country, which is always a great idea.
1-0 pitch. High hopper out to second. Might have a chance to get two. There's one. And there is two. And that will retire the side. No runs. A questionable hit. Nobody left. Home sixth in Atlanta. 8-2 Yankees lead.
Sherwin-Williams and your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places.
That is Corporal Chad Thompson, our hometown hero at the ballpark. Look at that young man in his United States Marine Corps uniform. That is a sharp dressed man.
I know when this type of ceremony takes place on the road, the Braves players are always quick to be at the top of the dugout, and I'm always pleased to see the same here at Turner Field, that the opposing teams always respect the ceremony here at Turner Field.
So very nicely done, and we thank you, Corporal Thompson, for your service. As Adonis Garcia leads off for the Braves in the 6th inning. Garcia, Peterson, and Andrelton Simmons. Nate Eovaldi has struck out 7, and he's just given up his 6th hit. So Adonis has had a nice series. That's 5 hits against the Yankees, and he's aboard to start the inning.
Yeah, he wanted to get a little payback in this series too, having been released in spring training by the Yanks. Nathan Eovaldi does not have a complete game this year, despite all of his run support and success. His longest outing was 8 innings at Minnesota, July 26th, and also in his last start against Houston, 8 innings of 4-hit shutout ball, but got no decision.
Peterson scalds one toward Ellsbury. Flat out sprint, not getting that. It's high off the fence. Atlanta's got runners at second and third with nobody out and a chance for a big inning. So Garcia and Peterson aggressive early in the count against Eovaldi, and Atlanta's in business.
I think Jace was due that. Remember, he got robbed earlier in this series on a great catch by Jacoby Ellsbury. This time looked like a split finger pitch. He was able to hit it where Jacoby couldn't catch it.
Well, Eovaldi has pitched against the Braves a lot. He's made 12 starts. 8 of those 12 starts have come in this ballpark where he's had no luck at all. He's 1-3 in Atlanta despite a .277 career earned run average at Turner Field. Their bullpen has begun to work. Adam Warren is up and throwing as the Braves threaten to cut into an 8-2 deficit.
Some other odd points about his work. There's Warren against the Braves. Eovaldi, 11 of the 12 career starts against the Braves, he's pitched at least 6 innings. He's in the 6th inning today. And 9 of those 12, he's given up 2 earned runs or less.
But the problem is, the Braves pitchers probably gave up 1 run or less.
Yeah.
And that's what got him beat. He's thrown a lot of pitches. Power pitchers do that. He's got 7 strikeouts. He's walked a couple of men. Both of them have scored. That's bounced off the tarp. Foul. And now 2-1.
Anderson was very animated last night when he was rung up. I think it was the 8th inning on a pitch that was not a strike by Mike Estabrook, the home plate umpire at that time. I don't know if he got a warning or a fine for flipping his bat, but still came back and picked his bat up and went back because it was the last out of the inning. But that was a bad call at a crucial time in the game.
Line into center field, a base hit. 1 run scores. Here comes Peterson around third. He's going to run through the stop sign, and he'll score standing up. Bo Porter had both hands up saying stop, but Peterson was not going to be denied. And it's now a 4-run game, and that appears to be the end of the line for Nathan Eovaldi.
Well, one thing Jace did was he froze and watched the line drive go right by him, and he saw where Ellsbury was and how far he was going to have to go to get the ball. Another pitch up, off-speed pitch. Freezes, sees it. Now Bo Porter, stop sign. Jace looked down, looked at the base, didn't see the stop sign, scored anyway. That one worked out okay.
So the Braves are down 4 all of a sudden and still nobody out. They've chased Eovaldi in Atlanta.
Baseball is presented by Hyundai.
Beautiful car, the Hyundai Genesis, here at Turner Field in Atlanta, where the Braves have come back to make it an 8-4 game. They have chased Nathan Eovaldi. They'll take a peek at Adam Warren here shortly. And we'll take a look at our AT&T U-verse trivia question. Carlos Beltran's one of 2 active players with 300 career homers and 300 career steals.
I had a hard time with this. Brandon Phillips, it's got to be somebody that's been around a while. Josh Hamilton is another guy, but I'm going to go with Brandon Phillips, and I don't think he's got 300 homers.
I mentioned the Minnesota Twins. I'm going to say Torrey Hunter.
Oh, good call there.
Oh. We had the homers covered with A-Rod. I didn't know he had that many stolen bases. First pitch swing by Bourne off Warren, and it's skied to straightaway center. And Ellsbury catches that. Ball got away, and now Simmons will make his way to second. Yankees a little sloppy. That takes away a double play opportunity and could provide another Atlanta run. As relief pitcher supreme Johnny Gomes will come in and hit.
See, and this error will be charged to Jacoby Ellsbury. All he's doing is throwing the ball in, and because Stephen Drew was afraid of getting a bad hop, he's backing up and the ball hits the base. Don't be afraid to jump out there in front of the base and catch it. But they're not going to hang the error on the second baseman. It'll go to the center fielder,
who made a perfect throw.
Yeah.
So here's Johnny Gomes. Let's tell you a little bit about Adam Warren. Born in Birmingham, lives in Riverview, Florida. Former pitching star at North Carolina. This is his 3rd full season in the big leagues with the Yankees, and he's done more good work this year.
A lot of decisions because he was in the rotation for a time and was 5-5 as a starter. 93 to 95 in the fastball, hard slider, curve, and change.
Bloop down the right field line. No way Beltran's getting that. That thing dies near the line. A base hit. A run is in. It's 8-5.
If the grass had been a little shorter, this would have backed up for him, back near the pin. Look at that thing. It just was spinning and biting right there. Johnny had thoughts of going to second, but wisely stopped at first since his run doesn't mean anything at the moment.
So 3 runs on 4 hits for the Braves. It's now a 3-run game.
Braves are 4 for 6 with runners in scoring position today.
Things getting interesting in the middle innings. And a strike to Markakis. You know, the Blue Jays are watching this game in Toronto. They finished off the Tigers 9-2. They lead New York by a game and a half. Braves trying to send the Yankees packing with a comeback loss. 1 ball, 1 strike. At some point you have to wonder about this Yankee bullpen. Not that it isn't good, but that their heavy workload will catch up to them. Since August 1st, the Yankees relievers have thrown 91 innings in 25 games. And they got to work overtime today with Eovaldi going 5+. They're averaging almost 4 innings per game in that stretch.
Wow. That was Jason Shreve, the former Brave, loosening up. Ross Detweiler up in the Atlanta pen.
Marquez took a strike. Full count. Wind has picked up again. A 15-minute lull. It's now ended.
Warren had to paint the bottom of the zone with that one, and still low.
Slicing toward left. That ball is off Gardner's glove. All hands are safe. The wind kept pushing that away from the Yankees outfielder, and now, unbelievably, the Braves will bring the tying run to the plate.
Just picked it right off about ankle high and served it into left field, slicing away from Gardner, who made a great effort and almost got to it. In fact, off the heel of his glove, he was there. He almost, in a way, overran it. He knows he should have caught it. He's a good outfielder.
So the hits are even at 10. Nick Swisher with one swing could even the run column. Nick batting second for the Braves today as walked, scored, struck out, and bounced out. Taken low. Ball one. Eovaldi was cruising along. He had an 8-2 lead. He gave up 3 consecutive hits in this 6th and has since departed. All the runs of Cross are his. The runners aboard are Warren's. Bouncing ball right side. Drew, hop throw to second. That's all they get. First and third, 2 out. Hard slide by Marquez to ensure no chance of Gregorius completing the double play turn.
Nice play here by Stephen Drew. Keeping a force play in order if they need it.
So that's all for Warren, who goes 2/3 of an inning, gives up a couple of hits. The Yankees will go lefty-lefty. Shreve versus Freeman, and maybe a scouting report coming from Bo Porter. Ranked Georgia Tech hosting Alcorn State. Coverage starts at 7 Eastern with our ACC Kickoff 2015 pregame show live from Bobby Dodd Stadium. It's the Georgia Tech home opener Thursday at 7 Eastern on Fox Sports South and streaming on Fox Sports Go.
Wow, Georgia Tech preseason 16, huh?
Yep.
Great start for them.
Have a good squad. As Chasen Shreve, a former Brave, debuts in the series.
Chasen did a good job last year. He started at Mississippi, was 3-2 there, and then got called up to the big leagues in 15 games with the Braves overall. 1 run allowed in 12 1/3 innings and 15 strikeouts. Went over to the Yankees in the Manny Banuelos deal, and this is his 48th game, and you can see outstanding numbers for him. He's enhanced his split finger pitch with a low 90s fastball. Braves have the tying run at the plate again.
Freddie Freeman's had a good day at the plate. 2 singles and an RBI. And Shreve's first is taken low. Amazing stat on Shreve. 67 strikeouts for him. Of those 67 strikeouts, 43 have come on swinging third strikes.
Lefty's hitting .227 against him. Right-handers .162. He's got an odd arm action. It almost looks like a stiff arm, like there's no real bend in his elbow.
Swing, drive down the right field line. Did he keep it fair? He did not. Oh, Freddie wishes he had another crack at that.
That's 2 today by the Braves. 1 by Swisher. It was very close. That's got in Shreve's head a little bit. He bounced that one up there. Nice stop by McCann to save a run.
In case you wondered when Freddie's last homer against a left-handed pitcher was, it was April 17th against Brett Cecil in Toronto. He nearly tied the game. Now he's got an even count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That one got away from McCann, but not far enough for anyone to advance.
This one did get under Brian as he tried to play the hop, and fortunately it hit something else. Shin guard, calf muscle, something that kept it from getting too far away.
Swisher will run from first. And ball 4. The bases are loaded for AJ.
Ooh, Shreve was walking too.
Told you, Ed Hickox has a tight zone by reputation. How close was this?
Sherwin-Williams painting the corners. That one was closer than a couple of others, but still not a strike.
So the bags are full for AJ Pierzynski. We showed you earlier his average, the 4th highest by a 38-year-old catcher in Major League history. 8 career grand slams. And no place for Shreve to put AJ Pierzynski. Ground ball to first. Bird's got it on the first pitch. Pierzynski rolls out, and the Yankees are out of further trouble. The Braves score 3, leave 3, trail by 3. 8-5 your score heading to the 7th. Let's take a look at today's Toyota key plays of the game.
Well, these 3 homers have accounted for 7 of the 8 runs for the Yankees today. A 3-run shot by Ellsbury on a full count. 2-run homer after a walk for Headley, and then after another walk, same inning. First pitch to Stephen Drew. He launched one deep into the right field seats.
You can see how hard it is for a team that doesn't hit a lot of home runs to keep up with one that does. And that's really the difference. 3 long homers by the Yankees. The Braves batted around in the 6th, scored 3 times, but still trail by 3 heading to the 7th. And Ross Detweiler takes the ball for Bird, Headley, and Gregorius.
And with the Braves offense coming to life, his job is to have a shutdown inning, get the offense back up there. Another good job by Maramone, with the exception of the first batter he faced, which drew a bases loaded walk.
A strike from Ross Detweiler for Greg Bird, who's walked, singled, and scored 2 of the Yankees' 8 runs. Right back where it came from, and Detweiler found it. Wow, good play, good fortune. 1 down.
Detweiler's 6'5". He's got a long way to reach back down and get that baseball, but those long arms help. In a good fielding position. And helped himself out.
Chase Headley hit a long homer here today in the 3rd inning, the straightaway center. He singled and walked as well, so he's had a perfect day at the plate. And that's outside, ball 1. Ross had some control problems here on Friday night. 3 walks and 2 in the 3rd innings. And he just issued one with 1 out to Headley. That's 5 walks issued by the Braves today.
And 2 of them were right before homers, as I said, in the 3rd inning.
Up and in, ball 1. Did that hit him? I believe it did. Gregorius got the call. He's hit by a pitched ball. Freddie Gonzalez might take a look at this.
Yeah, it did. Changed directions, right off the elbow guard. Take a listen. Little skip off the elbow pad. So still need that shutdown inning, need a double play ball.
Big day for Drew. He singled, homered, walked with the bases loaded, scored twice, and has knocked in 3.
game at Toronto today. I know you'll be shocked when I tell you that the Blue Jays hit 4 homers today.
Did Encarnacion hit all 4 of them?
No, but he did have 1.
Did he?
So did Donaldson. Martin and Pilar had the other 2.
Little bloop into right field. That's a base hit. The Yankees will have him loaded. A broken bat, 2-strike hit for Stephen Drew. Shreve will be called back. The Yankees will go to their bench. And again, they have Alex Rodriguez available if needed. Let's see who Joe Girardi summons with 1 out.
See, the bloops are going to happen. There's nothing you can really do to defend those. But it's the bases on balls that get things started that really come back to haunt you.
And it is Alex Rodriguez.
Braves walked him last night. They've got no room for him here.
.26 home runs for Alex Rodriguez. And Freddie Gonzalez will not allow Detweiler to face him. In case you wondered, A-Rod has 25 career grand slams. We'll see if he stays in the game for New York as the Braves make a switch. He debuted in the big leagues at the tender age of 18 as a Seattle Mariner in 1994. Won an MVP award with the Rangers, won 2 MVPs with the Yankees. World Series champion in 2009. Of course, the steroid issues for which he has served his time, and now it is A-Rod time in Atlanta with the bases loaded and 1 out, and he's sitting on a record 25 grand slams.
25.
Yeah. And if memory serves, when the Yankees last played in Atlanta, A-Rod hit a grand slam that I think tied him with Lou Gehrig on the all-time grand slam list. He'll face Peter Moylan.
Well, you got a sense of how many Yankee fans are here when the roar went up when he came out of the dugout.
Ground ball up the middle, a base hit on the first pitch. That's going to score 2 runs. Ball got away from Bourne, but no further advance for Alex Rodriguez. A pinch hit single drives home runs 9 and 10 for New York. .
Started with a walk and a hit batsman. Fastball in on him, and he just fought it off. And that's the only batter Peter Moylan will face.
So 2 more runs across for the Yankees. A walk and a hit batsman come home as Alex Rodriguez continues a humongous year for New York. They're trying to sweep the Braves in Atlanta. Time for our Coors Light Cold Hard Facts. And it has been a war of northern aggression head to head when the Braves and Yankees play at Turner Field.
Yeah, they pretty much owned the Braves here at Turner Field. 16-2 here, counting the postseason, doubling up on the runs, and pitching quite well here as well. 11-2 is their mark in the regular season before today.
So Jake Brigham grabs baseball. He's in his 12th big league game, just brought up when Williams Perez was sent back to Gwinnett. This would lead you to believe if he's pitching in this game, probably wouldn't pitch on Wednesday, at least not as the Braves starter. We'll have to wait and see. That spot is open at the moment. It is, as Joe said, September 1st. Rosters can expand, so Perez perhaps could be back to start that game. No balls and a strike for Jacoby Ellsbury. Yankees got 3 in the second, 4 in the third, 2 so far here in the 7th. And a strike. Good start by Brigham to get the first man he faced.
Kept the ball down, too close to take. Made Ellsbury chase. Good pitch.
Here's Gardner. He's 0 for 4. And a strike. Mets have beaten Boston. They held on in the 9th inning and defeated the Red Sox 5-4. Washington leads the Marlins 7-4. That game's in the 8th inning at Nationals Park. Colorado is shutting out the Pirates 5-0 today. Cardinals over the Giants 3-0. as they move to the bottom of the first in San Francisco. A base hit the other way. Gardner brings home Drew, and this relentless Yankee offense, which had been struggling so mightily, has bared its fangs this weekend at Turner Field.
Yeah, Brett Gardner's the one guy that really hadn't joined the party. He was 2 for 14 before that base hit and RBI, and 2 for his last 27. 55 RBIs for him.
So Brian McCann's the only Yankee starter without a hit today, and he's in the on deck circle. Here's Carlos Beltran.
Are they waiting for a pinch runner for A-Rod?
That would be yes. That's Chris Young. So Alex Rodriguez will get a big cheer. A pinch hit 2-run single for Alex Rodriguez.
I was just looking, you were talking about him breaking in with Seattle. Of course, we all knew that, but A-Rod's first full year in Seattle, he led the league in batting average, runs scored, and doubles. He had 358 his first full year in the big leagues.
That was 94.
That was 96.
96.
94 is when he broke in. 95 he played in 48 games, and then 96 a full schedule. 54 doubles, 36 homers, 123 RBIs at the age of 20.
There certainly is no more polarizing player in Major League Baseball than Alex Rodriguez. If you take away the off the field stuff and you look at his numbers, they are truly incredible. 3,000 hits, over 660 homers, a couple of 100 RBIs away from Henry Aaron's RBI mark. As this ball is cued down the third base line, that's tough play for Brigham, and the long throw is going to be late. Beltran has an infield hit. And Brian McCann will get another chance to hit for New York as the Yankees have again batted around.
Boy, when it's going right for everybody. The blue pit by Drew, the swing and bunt by Beltran. All that came up after 1 out, nobody on, and a walk and a hit batter.
So Brian McCann bats, bases full of Yankees. Here's another number that might surprise you. Brian McCann has hit 11 grand slams.
No, that one doesn't surprise me as much as 25.
One of them came this year for New York. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's another one on Alex Rodriguez. He homered on July 27th in Texas, his 40th birthday. He became the 4th player in Major League history to homer both as a teenager and as a 40-year-old. Rusty Staub, Gary Sheffield, and Ty Cobb did that. Line left field, base hit McCann. That's going to score 2 more. Every Yankee has at least 1 hit today.
I said Brian McCann had an outside shot of getting to 100 RBIs if he had a good September. If he stays here another week, he'll get there.
I think it's safe to say this is maybe the biggest concern I have about the Braves over the final 32 games. Pitching. How is it going to hold up? How are these youngsters going to do against the teams that they're going to be playing? Many of these series coming up for the Braves are going to be against teams fighting for their playoff lives. The Mets twice, the Nationals twice, the Cardinals, Toronto, and that offense. Not to mention 2 road trips forthcoming as Bird splits a gap. Brian McCann is going to be held at third base as Greg Bird doubles home another run. Beltran scores.
All but 2 spots in the batting order have RBIs today, not just hits. Nice move there by Joe Espada, the third base coach, too, for the Yankees. Not because Brian McCann couldn't have scored. He might have, but it was also going to stress him to go from first to home on that. So with a big lead already, no reason to do that.
And the point I make about the pitching for the Braves, nobody's going to feel sorry for them.
No. And you start getting this deep in the Braves bullpen, major league hitters are going to take advantage.
There's a strike, even count, 1-1 for Chase Headley.
This is the 3rd stint in the big leagues for Jake Brigham this year.
Rocketed toward right. Markakis can't get that. That's past him into the wall. The Yankees are frolicking.
This is Bugs Bunny and the Bulls.
Yeah.
Chase Headley's 27th double, but that's his 4th double in this series to go with a homer that he hit earlier today.
The Yankees are an astounding 7 for 8 with runners in scoring position in the 7th inning.
And what?
The Yankees are an astounding 7 for 8 with runners in scoring position in this inning.
I've still got the words to the Wabash Cannonball here somewhere.
Didi Gregorius with 2 outs. 8 in the 7th for New York. I'll bet John Sterling and Susan Waldman are beside themselves in the Yankees radio booth with this offensive outburst. And remember, when New York came to town, they were not swinging the bat very well at all.
I remember yours truly saying they may be catching the Yankees at the right time.
I do remember you saying that.
Because they weren't hitting a lick. They had the worst batting average in baseball for the month of August.
Strike 1 for Gregorius, who got the series off to a remarkable start with a 6 RBI game here Friday night. Three balls, 1 strike. You know, back in the old days, we used to be able to ask, Glenn, what's the movie tonight?
You can ask Woody.
Woody, what's the movie tonight?
I know where Jen's going.
Oh, that's right. Where's the pitch? And that's a walk.
Jen's going to see Motley Crue. Right, Jen?
Yes, you got it, fellas. Been looking forward to this one for a while.
So all you hairband fans, if you see Jen there, make sure you come up and say hi. Jen, what's the first song going to be tonight at the concert?
I feel like I could probably look that up, or perhaps remember from when they came through on this quote-unquote final tour last year, and I went to it. It's the same show.
They reeled you in twice?
Yeah, you have to. It's the final tour. Wild Side. I'm going to go with that.
Base hit to right by Stephen Drew. Here comes Hetley. He will score. It's 17-5. In the 7th inning, 8 hits, 9 runs, 2 walks, a hit batsman, and 1 stirring rendition of the Wabash Cannonball. So here's Chris Young. Here's how long this inning has been. Young came on as a pinch runner for Alex Rodriguez in the inning, and now he gets to bat. When Young came up, I thought he was going to be a superstar. He had a couple of big years with the Diamondbacks. 0-2. Popped him up. Garcia is going to run out of room.
I remember him having a great series, maybe just a great day, but I remember when he was with the Diamondbacks having a 2 or 3 home run day here.
Hit 32 homers for Arizona in 07. 27 homers, 91 driven in 2010. 2011 had a big playoff series against Milwaukee. Hit 3 homers in 5 games against the Brewers in the division series.
You know, this is all happening. Jake Brigham is throwing 94 miles an hour. His fastball is really good. But like we keep saying, it's not all about how hard you throw.
Oh, 2. And that mercifully ends the 7th inning. It is time to stretch. The Yankees score 9 runs.
This
Weekend matchups against the Mets, Phillies, and Cardinals. Friday night fireworks. Kids run the bases every Sunday too. The weekend's a perfect time to catch a game. Go to Braves.com/tickets today and plan your visit here at Turner Field. 9 in the 7th for New York. Breaks the game wide open at 17-5 as we head down to another member of our motley crew, Jen Hildreth. Jen?
Yeah, that was an entertaining inning, I suppose, if you're a Yankees fan, as there are many Yankees fans here in the stands. I talked to some of the players when this series started about something you two were talking about earlier, just if there's that mystique, if you will, when the Yankees come to town. Do any of the young guys maybe get intimidated by it? I talked to one who is not intimidated by it. That'd be Andrelton Simmons. He's coming up third in this inning for the Braves. And he said growing up in Curacao, the Yankees and the Braves were the two teams that he thought of as the best. The two teams everybody knew about. And he said, I'm glad I got to go to the Braves. They were my favorite. But these two were still the ones that he always thought of as the top. And to see the two of them match up here in Turner Field, something that doesn't happen all that often, you do get the sense that these fans appreciate it. And I'll tell you what, I just talked to a couple of fans. They were wearing Yankees uniforms, but the dad admitted to me, all right, when the Yankees leave town, I'm putting my Braves stuff back on. So there are Yankees fans everywhere.
Yes, they are. And the Yankees have come to town and made a statement that they are not going to go easily to the Toronto Blue Jays in the AL East. 17-5 New York. Brandon Pinder is on to pitch. That's the other remarkable thing about the Yankees, talking with Joe Girardi about his club. We've talked about all the youngsters that the Braves have used in 2015. The Yankees are right there. I mean, they've had 15 guys that have never played before in pinstripes this year. And Pinder, I'm presuming, is one of them. Brendan Ryan in at third base for Headley. As Pinder falls behind Garcia, 2 balls and a strike. And that's hit high in the air, deep toward left. That's over the head of Gardner, and that ball is gone. A line drive home run for Adonis Garcia.
Good for him. Seventh homer. And against his old club. Tried to run one in on him. We've talked a lot about how all of his home runs have been to center field and right center field. This one he pulls to straightaway left. Pinder's fastball 94 to 97 with a slider. And he's in the left field column now. Just look at this Yankees bullpen on my scouting report, Chip. And there's a range on how hard these guys throw. So I'm just going to give you the top end for each one.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you who they are. It doesn't matter. 99, 97, 97, 97, 93, 95, 97.
And that's the point we were making with Phil Niekro here in the early innings, how the game has really changed now. 15, 20 years ago, not to sound like old goats, but there was a time where every bullpen had one, maybe two of those guys, not
right.
7 or 8 of them.
Not your whole staff.
Peterson didn't get it. He's retired on strikes. 1 in, 1 out in the Atlanta 7th. And so you can understand why maybe a double-edged sword from an outsider's perspective with regards to the Yankees. They use their bullpen a lot because their bullpen's really good. And they have really strong, powerful arms that can end innings with fastballs and strikeouts. Today, the Yankees got 5+ innings out of Nathan Eovaldi. He had a 7-0 lead, then led 8-3 before he came out.
Braves touched him for 5 runs, but Warren, Shreve, and now Pinder are on. And the Garcia home run, the first run, allowed by the Yankees pen today. In the air toward the gap. That ball's going to get down. Ellsbury cut it off, made the play with a bare hand, and Simmons will stand at second with a 1-out double.
Offensively, these guys battle you to the bitter end, no matter what the score. Yankees just hung a 9 spot on them to make it 17-5. Easy to fold your tent and go home, but Garcia leads off the inning with a homer, and now a 1-out double by Simmons.
That'll bring up Michael Bourne. If the Yankees are going to pass Toronto, they've got to play better against Toronto. It's that simple. New York a game and a half out. They have played 12 times against the Jays. They've lost 8 of those 12 games. Next up for New York is Boston. They've beaten the Red Sox 8 out of 12. We haven't seen Toronto in a while. The Braves played them very well up at the Rogers Center. But that's when the Atlanta bullpen looked completely different than it does now. With Jason Grilli and Jim Johnson. The veteran arms at the back end of the bullpen rotation. 2 balls, no strikes for Bourne. Stopped by Bryan, full count. Rockies shut out Pittsburgh today. That's a 5-0 final. De La Rosa beat Charlie Morton. Later on tonight, the Cubs will play the Dodgers. Jake Arrieta will get the ball for the Cubs. Former Brave Alex Wood will pitch for the Dodgers. He looks for win number 10 tonight. That's the game of the world on ESPN. Not close. Bourne will take a walk. Let's see if Pinder can give some of that 9-run 7th inning back. It's 17-6.
Jake Brigham's going to hit for himself, so he's going to stay in the ball game, and to his credit, save the bullpen as much as he can.
This is not the first time he has stood in the batter's box. He does have a sacrifice.
I think Bo Porter just came down and told him to swing away.
Can't give away outs at this point. Take your chances, see if you can find a hole. 1 ball, no strikes.
Larry Rothschild, after that pitch, didn't hesitate. I mean, the ball was barely in Brian McCann's glove, and Rothschild was already on his way to the mound.
Knowing Larry, this is not going to be one of those happy visits.
No. As that commercial says, a big fat no. Got the pitcher up there at 17-6. A guy who doesn't ever hit. Throw the ball over the plate.
Pinder's a California kid out of Corona and Cal State Long Beach. Oh, that got Ed Hickox. Every time he gets hit, you have to take a moment to check him out. Hickox has had several injuries in his umpiring career. He used to wear the old style umpires or catcher's mask, and he was hurt seriously about 10 years ago. Concussions, facial fractures, and the like. And he's been banged up a couple of times in his major league umpiring career. 2005, 2009, and as a result, he wears the hockey style mask.
I thought that got him in the mask, but it didn't.
It didn't, did it?
It ricocheted off of McCann's mask and hit him in the arm.
Hickox, the pride of DeLand, Florida.
Fern country.
There you go. And Stetson University, which was Chipper Jones country, Chris Johnson country. Just north of Orlando. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Full count to the pitcher. All helps accepted. Swing and a miss. Might have tipped it into McCann's glove. Brigham put up a fight, but he's subdued. That's the second out of the inning. And we go back to the top and Nick Markakis. Wonder if Brian asked him, are you tired?
Might need a little ice today.
$33,093, the paid crowd for the Braves and Yankees. Very well attended series. And Pinder missed outside. Washington won. They held off the Marlins. 7-4 is the final at Nationals Park. Washington overcame a 4-2 deficit to win that game. Cardinals 4, Giants 2, third inning at AT&T Park. Giants still hope they can catch the Dodgers, but boy, they need Hunter Pence back. You talk about a bellwether player for him, he's the guy.
I don't think the Giants have enough offense to carry him. Not with Pence and Pagan out.
One pitch in the air toward Gardner in left. He'll retreat and he will make the catch.
We've also missed Joe Panik for quite some time now.
October 1st for a free post-game concert brought to you by Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines. Tickets going quickly. Get them now at Braves.com/Sam Hunt. Time for our SunTrust save of the game. Freddie Freeman saved a couple of runs with his glove today.
Yeah, that was at the expense of Brian McCann with a couple of runners on. And then a line drive off the bat of the pitcher that amazingly didn't turn into a double play. That saved a couple of runs as well.
Big innings, the story for the Yankees today and in this series. And Hickok's got some medical attention in between innings. He's got his left forearm wrapped. Certified athletic trainer Jim Lovell was out working on Hickok's in between innings, which meant the crew chief Dana DeMuth handled the lineup card for a moment. And there are a couple of changes for the Braves. Pedro Siriaco's in left. Swisher moves from left to right. And Jacoby Ellsbury is in the box. 1 ball, no strikes. Yankees sent 14 men to the plate in the 7th inning. 9 of them scored. Strike 1. Years ago, Joe, I was working with Dad on the TV side. Might have been one of the early Sports South games. Had a game kind of like this. And Dad did ask the producer at the time what the movie was after the game, and it was the always popular movie Cat's Eye. So we got the synopsis of the film, and we talked about it on the air, and we decided to have an essay contest for the viewers. That one's fouled at the plate. Of course, we had all the essays sent to the producer, Glenn Diamond, at the time. He had to go through about 470 of them. And so earlier I asked, what is the movie or programming tonight? And I still have not got an answer, and I think that's probably why. Out of play by Ellsbury. Still a full count. Ball 4. Far too many of those in this series against hitters as good as the Yankees. Brigham issues his second walk in relief. That's 7 walks issued by Atlanta today by my count. To go along with 18 Yankee hits. I think 2 hit batsmen. Or is it 1? I lost count. Up just 1, Gregorius. That's stroked by Gardner into center. That's hit number 19. That matches the Yankees' season high in hits, last accomplished July 28th in Texas. They scored 21 runs that day. They had 10 hits in the second inning of that game. So the Rangers feel our pain today. And this is Brendan Ryan, who checked in for Headley. Ryan's 33. Broke in with the Cardinals, then went to Seattle. And the Mariners traded him to the Yankees in 2013.
This is the guy that a St. Louis broadcaster who shall remain nameless said would make people forget Ozzie Smith.
Swing and a miss.
He was that good defensively. I mean, not that good, not as good as Ozzie, but he was so impressive when he first came up that people likened him to Ozzie Smith in St. Louis.
And that's the sequence you just saw is the really big question, and has been for Ryan. Could he hit enough to be a regular player? And many times the answer to that was no. But he's had a long big league career. Broke in 2007. Brian McCann, every Yankee who started has at least one hit in today's game.
And there's a new rule that if you once played for the Braves, you get to hit every inning.
I didn't know that. Eighth inning, McCann up for a sixth time. Whew. Ball four. Guess what the bases are.
Yeah.
And I wish I was too.
AJ trying to go out and help Jake get through this. Admirable that he wanted to stay in the game, hit for himself, stay in the game, save the bullpen. So AJ out there try to give him a little encouragement to try to help him out.
Bird skies one toward left. Siriaco near the line makes the grab. Runner tags and will come home and score. That's Jacoby Ellsbury who scores his second run of the game. Bird has his second RBI, along with 3 runs scored, and it's 18-6. Brandon Pinder rips one on the first pitch to the gap in left. 1 run scores. McCann will jog to third, and Brandon Pinder has an RBI double. First career double. And his first career hit as well.
Mercy.
Mercy as in, I don't believe I'm seeing this, or mercy?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. I'm with you. 19 New York runs. One ball, one strike. Didi Gregorius skies one on a play. Base it to left. It's 20-6.
And no one throwing in the pen. The all-time record for runs scored at Turner Field came in 1999 by the Baltimore Orioles on a night where I think Cal Ripken went 6 for 6, and they scored 22 runs. Gretchen just confirmed that for me.
Drew's gone 4 for 4. Brigham's giving the Braves everything he's got.
He had pitched as a starter for Gwinnett his last time out, and that was on the 24th, 6 days ago, and he went 5 innings, gave up 7 hits and 3 runs. I do not know how many pitches he threw on that occasion. He's at 56 right now.
If he can get out of this inning, you may see another position player come in for the 9th.
It won't be Johnny Gomes.
No. Chris Young. Back our way. Strike 1. Game got out of hand very early when Julio Teheran served up 3 homers to the Yankees in 4 1/3 innings. All of them with 2 outs. Now it's Edwin Jackson loosening up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Popped up, shallow center. Can anybody catch it? It's going to be Jace Peterson reaching front of Andrelton Simmons, who made the call. Peterson made the grab, and the Yankees send Knight to the plate in the 8th. Hand last night, the El Paso Chihuahuas hosted a weenie dog race. Now, number 2 was the obvious winner, but, well, let's just say that some of the canines didn't want to cooperate.
Is that where they host the Wiener Dog Nationals every winter?
That's what they're called, the Wiener Nationals, right? So, now Gretchen Caney and Jen Hildreth both have dachshunds. Ladies, I did not know that those dogs could move so fast.
You know, Chip, I just want to say that I think Gretchen's Hank and my Olaf would have taken that race. They do move fast. They've got those short little legs. Just get them going.
Yeah, they look like slinkies.
Yes, they do. Nick Swisher goes to work. Murphy's behind the plate for the Yankees. McCann's over at first. Love the fact that Brian's playing first base. You know, by the time his Yankee career is over, that might be a logical place for him if he can't catch every day for them. Fouled away at the plate. Now, the El Paso team is called the Chihuahuas. Does Chihuahua in Spanish mean dachshund?
No,
I'm a little confused.
It means Chihuahua.
So why
it is a Spanish word.
So why did they not race Chihuahuas at the home of the Chihuahuas?
They couldn't get him to come out of the little opening.
Ah, okay.
They were a little timid.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Your eyes are not deceiving you. That is the score. It's 20-6.
Yeah, I don't care if he could hit or not. I'd release Pinder right now.
Leadoff walk. Fans, follow the Braves wherever you are with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. It's up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, statcasts, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or your tablet. Two hits and a walk for Freddie Freeman.
That's not a call you want to see your manager making. One and a third innings coming into play today. He'd only walked 7. Now that's still a lot by comparison, but in a game like this, 2 walks in an inning plus, 3 walks in an inning plus is not going to endear you to your pitching coach and manager.
Ryan Barnway grabs bat. Ryan's done a nice job backing up A.J. Pierzynski.
It's the most runs the Braves have allowed in 12 years. They got beat at Florida back in July of 03, 20-1.
That's a little low. 2 balls and a strike. Now 2-2. Hope Chipper Jones is watching the game today with the boys, and specifically Shea. Ready for this? Shea's 11 today.
Is he really? Happy birthday.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And Lavarnway's down swinging. There's out number 1. A strike for Garcia, who's hit a homer today. Three more hits for him. 6 hits in the series with a former Yankee. And that one stroked to center. Ellsbury on the run, still going back, and makes the grab on the track. Swisher tags and makes it to third. 2 men are out. And here's Jace Peterson.
Ellsbury does a nice job going back on the ball, doesn't he? Never seems to be panicked or really out of position.
Swing, fly ball, right field, well hit, but not well enough. Young has it, and that will send us to the ninth. 26, New York. Summary, this got out of hand very early. Julio Teheran started and got very little relief from the relief corps as the Yankees played bombs away today. Most runs allowed by the Braves in 12 years.
So some more changes for Atlanta. Christian Bethancourt is behind the plate. Lavarnway takes over at first. And Edwin Jackson is the latest Atlanta pitcher. He is the 6th to work in relief.
He worked an inning here last night, gave up a home run, a walk, and recorded a strikeout.
There are his combined numbers. And for more on Edwin, let's check in again with Jen.
Well, Chip, when I talked with Edwin before the game today and was asking him just about, with the move of Williams Perez back down to Gwinnett, how that affected the bullpen and how they sort of absorbed all of that. And he said, you know, we just try to be ready for whatever comes our way. We prepare for the worst case scenario every day, just try to go out there and battle. Not sure he expected this, but pretty tough situation all around for the Braves pitchers in this one.
Rough day, 20 runs, 21 hits. And Ellsbury is batting again. This is the 7th time that Ellsbury has gone to the plate today.
That doesn't happen all the time.
In the air towards center, that is playable for Michael Bourne. He's got it, 1 out. Well, you've seen some history today for the Atlanta Braves. Only the 8th time they've given up 20 runs or more since they moved in 1966 here to Atlanta. First time they did it was in 1977. They lost to the Reds, gave up 23 runs in that game. Phil Niekro was the losing pitcher. Others on that list: Mike Hampton lost a 20-run game. John Smoltz, Derek Lilliquist, and today Julio Teheran. To second. Gardner is the second out.
Gardner actually has 7 official at bats. No walks mixed in on his ledger today. 2 for 7.
Second at bat for Ryan. And taken low. Twins are winning again. They're beating Houston 7-5 today. That'd be a great story for Minnesota if they could sneak into the playoffs. Paul Molitor, their manager, trying to gain ground on the Rangers, who are winning 4-0 at home today.
Well, tomorrow's the deadline for the waiver trade deadline. You gotta, if you make it to the postseason, you got to make a deal by tomorrow to have that player on your roster. Wouldn't surprise me to see the Twins make a deal, try to do something to help their team. They're so young.
And remember, they do have Irvin Santana, former Brave. He missed the first 80 games of this season, coming back from his suspension. And the thing you have to remember is, if Minnesota makes the playoffs, he's ineligible. He can't pitch in postseason play, so maybe the Twins will look for an arm before the end of play tomorrow. We'll find out. 26 heading to the ninth.
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoon. All three of those games will be on Sports South. Join us at 6:30 for Braves Live Monday and Tuesday night. Wednesday 11:30 for a 12 noon start. And then we hit the road for a very important road trip. Chance for the Braves to play the role of the spoiler in Washington.
That Tuesday game will be unique in that for a couple of innings during the broadcast, we're going to have the mics open not only for us, but also for the Marlins broadcasters, Rich Walls and Tommy Hutton, where we'll be talking among ourselves during the game. The four of us will be chatting as the game is going on at the same time, hopefully not over the top of each other.
That'll be fun.
I think it will be too.
Two great guys, and I think what will be interesting is these two teams are in very similar spots in the National League East. What went right, what went wrong, and what's going to happen going forward. We can get their perspective on what they think the Braves are doing. We can offer their fans a perspective on what we think's happening down in Miami, and hopefully have some fun too. So something we're trying out. Hopefully you'll enjoy it as much as we think we will.
That'll be Tuesday night.
Ryan Mitchell's the latest Yankee pitcher. He'll work the ninth with Simmons, Bourne, and Bethancourt coming up. And that's in for a strike.
Braves have 6 runs on 12 hits today. It's not enough. But offensively, they did some good things. Start with Adonis Garcia with a 3-hit day, including a home run. Anderton's had a good day too.
2 hits, 2 RBIs, a run scored. Braves made a game of it. They came back, and it was 8-5 after 6.
Right.
It's a 3-run game, but then the roof fell in the 7th. Back to the mound, and boy, oh boy, you know that brought back some memories for Mitchell. Remember, he's the kid that got hit in the face with a line drive. That was a bouncing ball, and he got the head out of the way and the glove up in just a nick of time. That'll get his heart pumping if it wasn't already.
A nice quick reaction to it, and robbed Anderton of a base hit. Although watching that replay, I see that Stephen Drew was playing way up the middle again. May have been able to get it.
Mitchell was a 16th round pick by the Yankees back in 2009. He lives in Tampa in the offseason. And Bourne pops it up. And that's going to be handled by Didi Gregorius. And the Braves are down to their last out. Braves will have a 5-game losing streak they'll try to snap tomorrow night. Mike Fultonevich against Chris Narveson in Game 1 of the series with the Marlins. Shelby Miller and Justin Nicolino on Tuesday. Braves have not announced a starter for Wednesday's game. Julio Teheran will suffer his second home loss. He'll be 9-7 on the year. Evaldi will go to 9-0 in his last 13 starts. Broken bat, bouncing ball to Ryan. He's got it, and the Yankees have swept the Braves in big fashion today. 20-6 is the final score. The Braves 6 runs on 12 hits, left 12 on base. And the losing streak stands at 5. More for the ballpark after this.